Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ironside cast. With me, Matt, it's been a little bit of a lull for me, just not because there's not been some replays sent in. This one has actually been sent in a little bit ago. But it's because I've been kind of addicted to Age of Wonders 4. So, my bad. I've just been, all my free time has just been focused on playing that game. Highly recommended, by the way. However, it's a little unstable in multiplayer if anyone ever tries to play that, but highly recommend the game. Anyway, we have a battle here on Ponari Forest on the Eastern Front. Let's go through the players. We have the Soviet Union today. We have Lenorus, without a command choice yet. We have Pie Creamy, straight out the gate with Tank Destroyer. We have the Germans today. We have Mist Moon as Panzerdivision for die Wehrmacht. And Weiss as Luftwaffe Division, well, Fallschirmjäger-Division to be specific, for die Wehrmacht. It should be interesting. Ponari Forest, I haven't seen this map too often. I've played it myself a few times though. So we're trying to get down to this little train depot, but it's like a train crossing here. Ooh, and the Pioneers get around. Ooh, but the Sabers get good cover there. But the Volksgrenadiers, actually double Volksgrenadiers from the Germans here. They're double teaming this side. There's also a victory point match, which I'm actually fine with. 750. Looks like 750 points in total. Okay, that should be interesting. So the fight will last a little bit longer, which I suppose is fine. With the Soviets moving around to grab every point they can. Conscripts are very cheap early on. Well, they're actually not cheap early on. They get cheaper as the battle progresses, because as you tech up with the Soviets, they reduce in cost. Let's see, we have some Fontoviki being prepared here by Lenorus. Still no commander choice, I think. Not yet, but at least we know where the Germans have gone. Pioneers get overrun here in the center by some conscripts. Looks like, yeah, he does have his PPSH. It didn't look like he had it from this range. Let's see, we have some Grenadiers of the Fallschirmjägers to the north here. Let's see how well they'll do. Conscripts get a good shot in. Germans are quickly moving around with their troops. Secure the southern flank and entrenching it, I imagine. It's going to be very hard for the Soviets to get the Germans out of this one. But the Soviets could overrun the north and the center though, so they'll have 2 command points. Well, 2 victory points. Soviets are quickly sending troops down. Looks like they've gone for Motor Strelki. So we have Motorized and Tank Destroyer. Pretty decent choice here for the Soviets. The Germans are quickly just holding up down here. Volksgrenadiers sitting up behind cover. That's going to be a lot of Soviets coming their way soon. Well, victory points are in Soviet hands. Soviets also sneaking around with some Fontoviki. Some much more experienced Soviet infantry here. And then the conscripts were not actually that experienced. The Fontoviki are pretty decent. They can actually get the job done if you put them in the right position. Well, that's a lot of German rifles that are pointed at them. They're holding up admirably thanks to heavy cover. That is a lot of German Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers. Conscripts are trying to get around here. The Fontoviki cannot hold forever. They are doing a good job though. Oh, Molotov does go off, but the conscripts do die. But it does result in the Volksgrenadier dying. The conscripts are just being a distraction, trying to get close enough to throw Molotovs. While the Fontoviki just keep laying down the fire. Soviets need to move our forces up though, I think. One flash is being exchanged. Fontoviki cannot hold this for long. And they have to pull back. It's not worth losing Fontoviki. Fontoviki are very expensive. Compared to conscripts anyway. I think they just cost the same as basic infantry squads for other factions. So 240. Maximum coming up. We do also have an MG coming up here. It's going to be an MG44. That'll hold the front line. And that will start laying down suppressor fire. Maxim setting up as well. But I think the MG44 with the Germans will have the upper hand here. Lots of cover. We also have a medical airdrop going in here for the Germans. Quickly airdropping in down some medical supplies from the Luftwaffe. Maxim cleared out. While this is going on, the Germans also slowly securing the northern flank. So it's not putting much of a resistance up here yet. They're mostly focusing on trying to stop themselves from being cut off down here. Well, not being cut off, but preventing the Germans from digging in, I suppose. But it's too late now, I think. They have to pull back. The southern flank of the Soviets have collapsed here, and that's going to allow the Germans to start digging in. Maxim does get cleared out, but is in range of the base defenses. We do see an early tech up here for one of them. We do have another machine gun coming out here. Also another Maxim being rolled up. We have slowly moving forward, probing for the victory point here. I have a little bit of a very intriguing match here by the looks of it. It was a good start down here. Lots of action in the forest. I'll definitely need to find a good forest battle thumbnail if possible. Ah, good. Assuming it on the flank. Yeah, that's very smart. Always cover your flanks as the Germans. It's a very German thing to do in World War II. Germans would mine entire flanks, like completely mine them, to the point that no one dared to move there. It's a good way of covering their flanks, in all honesty. Very dangerous. You see just lots of Schumann. Very good to see. They also found it cheap to lay. A very good German play there from Mistmoon. Using their German tools to their advantage. So it's recapturing that Maxim. The Soviets gonna have to worry about capturing the other points. We do have some Feuertruppe here from the Fallschirmjägers on the fields. Already armed with the FT-42s and in their very unique looking Fallschirmjäger outfits. I think they look cool, with a very nice camo pattern. But they are being hit by DPM, but they will mow down those Fantaviki. Oh, Molotov goes off though! Oh, and it hit straight on them! The Fallschirmjägers don't fully die though. The Fantaviki looks like they might make it out of there. Because of a medic team here in the fields, not sure what they'll do. Lots of conscripts moving up, that MG-44 armed force is in trouble. The force grenadiers from the Panzer Division is holding on here. Molotov sitting close. Panzerbrücke now to the Pioneers. The Soviets, I don't think, can hold this fight here in the center, especially that medic. Brave as she is. Slowly gonna be targeted down. There she goes. Lots of German rifles on the field here. The Soviets bring up a Maxim here. And laying down suppressor fire. The Germans have not been able to lay on sandbags yet. Forcing them back. Level up here. We have some conscripts mode down here by the Pioneers. There's a Maxim now covering the point. Immediately pinning down the Pioneers, forcing them back. Maxim setting up here again. Up here, Germans are ready. Indeed not. Trying to fire a rifle grenade. Good one at that, but it's not enough. They buy some time to get away safely. The Soviets can now recapture the center here. Amidst all the bloodbath of all these corpses. Holy shit. Pioneers are moving up with their Panzerbrücks trying to cover. But more and more DPMs start to be handed out to the Fantaviki. Lots of machine gun fire here. So we also have an anti-aircraft half-track here. With an autocannon and dual 50 caliber machine guns. They're able to motorize in certain other Soviet commanders. I'm not sure which. But motorized definitely gets this one. Very potent. It's probably going to shred through the forest here. So we have a little bit of a mechanized force being prepared here with a command tank. Command looks. And a half-track here with a machine gun. But it looks like it's kind of bugged out. There we go. Now he's grabbing a machine gun. And well, the Fallschirmjägers are going to support his push-up. MT-42 is also being equipped there. Also kind of took some big shots from a... But not a tank rifle grenade? Looks like it might have been. And the Germans going to assault the center here with their mechanized force. Lots of grenadiers pushing up. Yeah, that lone Soviet soldier is not going to hold. We also have a Valentine tank arriving. Yeah, I don't think the Germans are equipped for this. They don't have any Panzerfaust on them. They're being suppressed. They have to pull back from this situation, I think. They could get a Panzerfaust in that time, but I don't think they've been able to get it. No. And they have to get out of that. While this is going on, the Germans have overrun the center. Attack for support and the Panzer II command tank. We're seeing the front line. And coordinated here in these deep Eastern European woods. We do the C-7 here arriving, but it's being hit by in the tracks by a Panzerbrücke. Mobility damaged. It still rotate, but it cannot retreat anymore. Oh, it actually can still move, my bad. Oh, once it hits free. Yeah, so mobility damage is now done in 3 stages, I believe. The Soviets have around the southern flank here. They even got the Germans' medical supplies. Another Valentine tank arriving here to fight in the woods. And a small AT gun as well, a 57mm. Let's go give the Soviets some more time.
Soldiers ready.
The Soviets need to capture these points too. They are very important. Plus the resources they can provide. The Soviets certainly have a variety of vehicles on the field now. Lots of light tanks. That's good to see. Valentine is a Lend-Lease from the Commonwealth, from the United Kingdom. It became very popular amongst the Soviets as an aggressive recon tank, I believe. Soviets were quite fond of it. The Germans are fighting up here in the woods, trying to dig in again. They have prepared an MT-42. And lots of German infantry preparing to move up. They've even grabbed the DPM off the ground for one of the Volksgrenadiers. Meanwhile, we have a mechanized push up here again with a command tank. Command tank can capture territory. Valentine needs to turn. Panzerfaust is coming up here. Panzerfaust will go straight through this Valentine here. There it goes. We also have a lieutenant on the field here for the Soviet Union. D-70 pushing up in the center, but the Fallschirmjägers are waiting. They probably don't want to reveal themselves just yet. Especially with this thing around. But we do have a Panzer IV F1 arriving here, if they can take out this T-70. So far, no luck. And now the Valentine's also hit it. F1 has to get out of there. Do have the command tank on the flank. Fallschirmjäger still remaining hiding. Yeah, experts are camouflaged. Ooh, Panzer II took a big shot there. Has to pull back. There was a strafing run from the Red Air Force flying overhead. Missed that target though. Remember, tank hunters cannot capture ground anymore. They can scorch earth though. Nope, they can't. More Valentines arriving. Lots of Valentine tanks here. Okay, well, the Fallschirmjägers just remain there hiding. I think the Germans have a good idea of what's hiding around here, but they know there's also machine gun, I think. Valentine here for the southern flank. Germans are lacking in proper AT equipment here. They only have the Panzerbüchses, which will not do enough. I suppose they have Panzerfaust if they get close enough, but... And let's take some shots here in the MG42. So the Italian squad is actually doing pretty decently. Looks like we have another airstrike coming in. If he can do it before he gets pinned. And here comes the Red Air Force. Got a good strafe there, and the machine gun, but didn't kill them. Oh wait, never mind. 3 planes. Yes, the Red Air Force is really operating in this area. Despite the best works of the Luftwaffe. Soviets are capturing the southern flank again. Also got a recon team here in the field. That's a double recon team. The Soviets have made a little bit of a strong point here. It'll be hard for the Germans to push them out. You have an airstrike coming in. Is that a medical airdrop? I guess that's some delayed supplies that the Germans were intending for their own troops. I guess Goering got the message late. Oh, they've been spotted. Because the fuel grenade. And they suffered for it. Decent grenade though, but it didn't do enough. And meanwhile, this Soviet mechanized force keeps pushing up. The Red Air Force flying in again. Another strafe. This is a good fight. F1 rating will be have some Panzer Grenadiers in the forest as well. Ready to support the F1. Recon teams on the flank. So it's control 3 victory points, so the victory points will start dropping rapidly unless the Germans can do something. Panzer IV H is arriving up, which will certainly be able to even the scales. Pretty good Panzer IV, if not the best version of it. Good force pushing up again with a little mechanized force. Ironside taking a shot. Explosive being loaded. It missed. It was trying to hit the... yeah, there, it overshot. But here comes the German forces. Panzer IV H to lead the way alongside the F1. F1 doing its best as a distraction, while the H takes a good shots. Optics damaged. Gunner injured. Soviets do still have a good strong point. Good shot there on the H. That's gonna force it back. On the southern flank, the Germans keep pushing up. Don't think this recon team can hold. Yeah, got mowed down there in short order. And this... Oh, there was a mine! The Soviets laid a minefield! Very cheeky, I didn't even see that. They cleared this 80-gun team though. It should be able to with that MG42. So we have the Luftwaffe preparing to fly in. Nope, never happened. They didn't call it in yet. They were forced off. MG34 will certainly hold this ground for a bit. Let's see if the Soviets only send infantry. Let's see. Germans also have an MG up here. Actually, this is a stolen Maxim. The point here is still in Soviet hands, though. So we have a supply airdrop coming into the center again. Not for the center, this time actually the German base, and they can actually get the supplies. I guess the second missive to Goering actually did the thing. When he was not snorting coke or whatever. Was it cocaine or was it heroin? I'm not sure which one it was. Probably both, knowing him. The strike being called in here by the command tank. As that's the Luftwaffe. Calling the Luftwaffe for a recon run. Giving the Germans a little brief idea what they're dealing with. They're pushing southwards with the Panzer Grenadiers and the Panzer IV. Don't realize the Soviets are lacking in AT equipment down here. After taken out. Panzer Grenadiers pushing up pretty effectively here. There's some guards infantry, but they're out in the open. Yeah, they're getting mowed down. These Panzer Grenadiers doing a good job alongside the MG. We have an airstrike coming in, I think. And the Red Air Force is coming in again. They've been on point today. Although it's just machine gun strafes. But like these three aircraft have done a lot of work. The 70 is now dealing with this Panzer II. Armor's holding up though. Panzer IV moving up. I wonder if we'll see the Panzer II in Company Heroes 3 after a while, because I've seen it in the cutscenes. So I'm pretty sure in Company Heroes 3, Dak will get the Panzer IIs at some point, probably through a commander. Oh, turret jammed. The Slide 80 gun. Actually, that was not line gun, that was the Cis gun. Full on Cis. But it's been pinned. T-70 doing a pretty decent job, actually. And some accurate shots in at the weak points. It's going after it, though. That's risky. Ooh, it didn't penetrate the T-70's front. The T-70 does have a pretty remarkable slope on the front, though. While this is going on, the German Luftwaffe forces have secured the northern flank. The Soviets still hold the center. The northern flank is in German hands. E-34 arriving here in the front line, which will have trouble fighting against the Panzer IV H frontally. We also have some Großdeutschland Panzer Grenadiers on the field. The Panzer IV needs some repairs. So we have some Jägers from the Luftwaffe division on the field as well. We always have a lot of light infantry to fight in the forest. I guess that makes sense. It's quite rocket terrain. The northern flank of the Soviet Union has kind of fallen because there's been no resistance. A Kettenwerfer and a machine gun being moved around. T-34 is now showing itself. Some kind of artillery strike. No, that's actually a mortar. Double mortar here from the... actually, triple mortar here. From the tank destroyer troops. Laying down some fire. So we have a relay beacon being set up here. A funk fire. Ostdeutsland's gonna get overrun here. They have to get out of there. Czech machine gun arm stabbers moving up. The Czech machine gun can be fired on the move, which is pretty handy. Lots of shots being fired over this victory point. Airdrops going in. So there's going to be some medical supplies for the Luftwaffe. While this is going on, we also have the Red Air Force coming in for that strafe. I guess they were chasing after the Luftwaffe plane. You have a whole air battle going on over this forest. Don't envy anyone that has to crash down here if their plane gets damaged. That's going to be a horrible experience. Panzer IV is holding up remarkably well. Won't hold for long. Loader injured. But manages to pull back. So we have a Panzer strike hand out here to the Volksgrenadiers. Have to deal with Soviet armor. Artillery strikes are being called in. These Soviet mortars are pretty bunched up, as you can see. So one hit from a German mortar would kill them if it hits correctly. Of course, it doesn't look like the Germans have mortars on them at the moment. They might be in the clear for now. E70 on the move again. With hunting for Panzer II, which is waiting there in camouflage. Oh, Panzer IV took a shot. That little Siskin has done a really good job. Another Panzer IV arriving. This one is still in its winter camo. It has no time to change. Another strafe run from the Red Air Force. That's so many things. Another artillery strike going in here, being called in by the Germans. It might just be light infantry guns. Looks like it. E70 on the hunt, it took down the Panzer II. But the command crew managed to bail. Panzer IV coming up for revenge. That's probably a dead Panzer II. Oh, not dead Panzer II, that's a dead T-70. No, it's backing off. Oh, engine burning! German armor is not holding up too well today. Soviets are managed to get behind the lines with some motor strokey. More done. But they are being stopped here by the F1, forcing them back. They were going to try and attempt a cut-off, but they need to take this point, I think, to cut them off. And of course this one down here. If they do that, they could likely close the pocket through the motorized. And basically wipe out the entire northern flank of the German forces here. Another Soviet attempt, but the Germans are quite dug in now with a trench and everything. It's not going to be easy to get through this. Red Air Force is circling around again. Cool to see the Red Air Force in action. We rarely get to see them. But the pilots will put on a good show.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Lots of German infantry moving around. With a heavy mortar? No, I don't think they should have a heavy mortar. But they have lots of tracks here, the T-34. Let's see track. It can still rotate, but it cannot move. They did take out the F1 there. So we have a big artillery strike being headed by the Luftwaffe. So it's just going to be artillery and not an airstrike, though. I guess the Germans really don't have air superiority today. Here they come. That's going to be a pretty big barrage, too. That's going to be normal German-sized howitzers. And the Soviets have not moved. Oh, this is... could be worse. Could be worse. Panzer IV and Panzergrenadiers with some Luftwaffe support for the center. Valentine cooked up. Jägers and Fallschirmjäger supporting the Panzergrenadiers as they slowly make headway. While the Grenadiers from the northern flank circle around. And the Soviets are not really don't really have anything to push the north or hold it at the moment. The Germans are slowly encircling. Able to use the Panzer IV-H here pretty effectively. Lots of small AT guns though. And this T-70 is still alive, being a little bit of an issue. Loading a shrapnel round. Artillery strike being called in here. We also have Joe Dunn moving up again. But here comes the artillery strike. We do have a T-34 trying to push up here, but it's Raketenwerfer waiting. Which I believe one shot that hits will destroy this T-34. They missed though. Building another rocket quick. And while this is going, the Red Air Force strafes again. The rocket's having issues with all the terrain pieces. So it's to hold the southern point still. This truck allows them to keep them reinforced. So we have the Luftwaffe were trying to call in an airstrike, but doesn't look like it went well. Perhaps we were hunted down by that trio of Soviet planes we've seen. Well, I know I know the plane we were seeing is what the hell is it called? I forgot the name of it. Stumovik. The flying tank, which is a ground assault. It's not actually a fighter. Panzer IV taken out here by the combined work of an MCHA and a T-44. And these Panzer Grenadiers having issues. Center could fall to Soviet hands again here very quickly. As the motorized infantry pushes up alongside their tanks. The MCHA will certainly help. Pack 40 is doing his best to try and fight though. They are being suppressed by their machine guns. Not having any chance penetrating. 50 caliber doing his best to lay down suppressor fire. They're trying to aim for one of the weak spots if they can find it. And we have the T-54 on the flank. They've been pinned now. They can't really do much behind the shield. They're just trying to survive. Panzer IV is trying to save them. Oh, turning around like that, but they will be able to drag it back safely by the looks of it. Red Air Force is being called in again. They've been on point all the day thanks to this lieutenant. Keeps calling them in whenever they need them. Just to deny ground. Like, you don't have to necessarily kill the enemy, just if you deny positions. That's surprisingly useful. Force them to move. And make hasty decisions. Like, having air superiority is just so handy for the mind games. You never know when there'll be a strike. And this one, Blitz is really not in a good position there. Luftwaffe force have all formed up around the Panzer IV. Oh, it's taken off on the shot to the flank. This T-44 and the SIS. Soviet armor is prepared to push up slowly. Another Panzer IV is being prepared. Most of the Panzer Division is waiting for some heavier support. Panzer strike moving up here, but they're being suppressed out in the open. Bill T is damaged slightly on the Sherman, but it'll be fine. Even if it pushes forwards. Oh, good shot! A Panzerfaust from the Großdeutschland does destroy it. German infantry is having issues. They do have a mortar finally to help deal with the Soviet mortars. So we have a Stuka flying overhead for a recon run. I really do think there's like an air-land battle going on above this forest at this point. German infantry is trying to push southward, but the Soviets have dug in. Maxim and an other machine gun. I can never pronounce his name. Stankovai. Stankovai. I'm not good at Russian, in case you were wondering. Good for obvious reasons. Red Air Force strafes again. That's a force opening fire though. I wonder if we'll get a higher level or higher ranking officer. They did seem like they lost to the lieutenant though, unless that's the wrong one. Am I looking at the wrong one? Oh, they did lose to the lieutenant. Okay, so no more airstrikes for a while. But yeah, I do wonder if the Soviets will get a higher ranked officer to call in some bigger airstrikes. E-70 is finally taken out. MCHA has to pull back slowly. Naval Werfer strikes going into Soviet positions. But they remain steadfast. Engine damage on the Emcher. Panzerjäger's trying to get in position here. They've been pinned out in the open. Truck allows the Soviets to stay around and continue the fight. Automates moving in, and all these Soviet mortars are just still bunched up. So that's been one little counter battery strike from this German mortar could finish them all. Just like that. Well, most of them anyway. Also more mortars, lots of mortar support here for the Soviet Union. And indeed we do see a Tiger tank coming in here for the Germans now. Might hopefully allow them to restable the front line. Germans are trying their best to hold on. Need to repair their panzers. They are lacking in pioneer support at the moment. Those pioneers need to start working overtime. Or get some repair stations up for the base. Like this little repair button here. Maintenance bunker. Pretty useful. Especially if you're close to your base like this. MT was preparing to push up here by the looks of it. But he says spotted the Germans up there. Germans still firmly dug in with the bunker and everything. The Soviets are trying to take in as well. O'Donnell preparing a push. So be cautious, there's still a machine gun. So is the Panzer Raketenwerfer, I mean. I suppose we loaded for the trench. But doesn't like it can hit it. Trenches are generally pretty good to be holed up in against tanks, I believe. At least until the tank gets close enough. So it's trying to set up in the center here to hold the line. Germans are preparing another push. Ostdeutschland and other forces are around. Lots of mortar shells being fired. The Tiger tank has arrived at the front line. Like Oberkommand is calling in some of their finest to try and hold this forest. Yes, this forest is in a very good strategic location. All their commanders are doing some big blundering. Which is knowing the Germans of the Second World War, that's too surprising. Especially late war. Also please that dictator of theirs. Oh, we are going to see a cutoff here. The Soviets are going for a cutoff. Well, they don't have the officer that allows... what's it called? Close to pocket, I think. They need to get their final tier officer out, the major. At least I think so. If they do, they take out all the Germans that are cut off up there. Good job, conscripts. The Germans are not getting any of the resources up here now, so they're barely getting resources compared to the Soviets. Like a tank moving forwards. There's a lack of... Actually, the Soviets do a lot of AT, but is it a high enough caliber? Continue opening fire. Same for the base. Pretty big barrage. But the Tiger tank descent already took a big shot there. Those small AT guns are actually quite scary. A rapid fire can actually do a lot of work. The Germans are going to try and prevent this point from continuing to be cut off. They probably know the risks. Lone conscript holding on the best he can. Until Vicky now moving up to try and replace them. Throwing a grenade. Naval for shots coming into the center. Holding by this Hauptmann, I'm pretty sure. Tiger tank is ready for action again. Point is not in German hand. Oh god, they didn't get it. That's not good. Tiger tank pushes up. I need to keep an eye if the Soviets get a major. That means they could do close to pocket. Another Soviet attempt, German attempt, I mean, to push forwards. It's been a while since I played. Oh, well, watch, so that's why I'm a little bit out of practice again. I can think a pretty decent job here. The Soviets have moved most of the AT equipment back, or it's been cleared out by the naval buffer. Point is in German hands again, so they are out of risk range. Panzer IV pushing up in the MCHA here. MCHA does a pretty high rate of fire though, but MCHA gets taken out.
The enemy has destroyed one of our vehicles.
Tiger tank pushes forwards. Ooh, a bit of a deflection shot there. The Germans do control the center again, which will stop the bleed of their victory points. At least for a while. With a howitzer now, I'll be able to do Luftwaffe. It'll be pretty handy here. Well, now the Germans have some artillery superiority. Tiger tank now firmly holds the center. More Panzer IV H's arriving for support. And the various Panzerabteilungs. Ostdeutsch and Panzergrenadiers moving forwards. They're lacking in support though. There's a lack of Soviets to fire at them. That said, the support gunners are doing a decent job there out in the open. As you can see. And just because they're support gunners doesn't mean they can't aim, they don't know how to aim with their rifles. They're still pretty deadly. The Panzer IV are really doing a breakthrough action here. Living up to the Blitzkrieg name. Getting behind enemy line and causing as much havoc as possible. And the Soviets react in time. They're too focused on this part of the flank here, which allows the Panzer IVs to do some work behind the line. Do more MCHAs arriving. And we do see a tech up going up for the Soviets. They might be going for some SUs. Tiger tank has to relocate. Took some shots. The Panzer IV's not being brave enough to fight with the MCHA frontally. Sherman MCHA. I'm still not sure where I got that nickname from, but I kept calling it the MCHA. I think it's something to do with the pronunciation or something in Soviet, in Russian, I think. With the M4A2 stuff, German. But I like the nickname, MCHA. Easy to remember when I say, instead of saying Soviet, it's German, or just German when on the Eastern Front. I think it's a neat nickname. Panzer IV HIS in trouble here. Mthis could get a good shot. Does not get his sight. Panzer IV is doing a little bit of raid here. Probably realizing his ship to stay there for too long. That ISU 152. You're gonna see a Sverjo boy come out. Oh boy. And that could be very troubling because the Sverjo boy could technically brawl with the... Well, not really brawl, but he could penetrate the Tiger. Probably destroy it. Soviets are losing units now though. German counterattack is in motion. All these 80-gun teams are being cleared out. MG42 here handed out to, or found on the ground by some conscripts. Bravely trying to fight the Jaegers. Grenade though. Doesn't do enough. Molotov being thrown. Jaegers having issues moving though. Have to carry that Panzer strike everywhere. It's not working for them. Panzer IV still behind the lines. It's because they could use a captured Panzerfaust here, but no, they decide to retreat instead. Panzer IV getting behind them as German offense is in full motion. Pioneers pushing forwards with the Hauptmann. Trying to inspire them at the front line. Panzer IV keeps moving around here. MCHA is in big trouble. Tiger tank pushes up as well. Big old German counter-offensive here. Minefield is still there. And I got cleared out. We do have a single Soviet plane flying overhead for a strafe, but it's too late. That's supposed to get out of there. I think moves up here to try and fill the void. The Soviets are having some big issues now, I feel. And that Sverjo boy could be outmaneuvered whenever it's on the field. There's just overall a lack of infantry here from one of the Soviet players. Oh! Turret jammed here from the small 80 gun. Very nice. Gonna force the Tiger back. And here comes the Spearhead boy. ISU 152. 152mm shells right up your ass. Pretty freaking big gun when you think about it. Like, absolutely ridiculously big gun. I think it's actually a ship cannon? Or it might just be the howitzer, but I was like, thinking the idea that the SU-152 gun, the 152mm gun, was actually a ship cannon. The Soviets just retrofitted onto vehicles, which honestly I wouldn't put behind them. The Soviets did a lot of weird stuff in the war. Try and make up for the fact they were losing so heavily at the start. So we have a recon run flying overhead. That is an American plane though. That looks like it might need a model swap, but I'm not sure how difficult that is to mod in. Probably quite difficult if it hasn't been done yet. Try and avoid looking at it. Oh, it's a little bit of immersion break. Just say the Germans have a recon plane flying overhead here. Reporting where that Spearhead boy is. Now the Germans know there is a Spearhead boy. And they immediately move to try and hunt it. The Tiger will be able to beat it if it fires first and penetrates. Oh boy. Yep, that Spearhead boy's in trouble. Doesn't penetrate. Panzer could hit. Spearhead boy's without support. Does take out the Panzer IV. It has to start backing off. It cannot stand there and fight. Let us. No, it's being attacked. Oh god. Ability damaged. Oh, it's taking some big shots. Tiger kills it. But Air Force arrives a little bit too late again. Oh, that was not good. So it's that Spearhead boy. It's a pretty big investment. That Tiger tank remains on the top. It's at the top of the food chain in this forest. Top predator. There's a tiger in these woods. And he is hungry. The tiger is going on the hunt. It has seen its target, its prey. The humble Emcha. A creature foreign to this land, but still pretty adept at whatever it does. I don't know why I went completely nature documentary here. I'm just having fun with what I do. If you cannot find fun with what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Oh, got him wounded down the tiger. These small 80 guns are actually surprisingly useful for causing some minor damages and issues. Red Air Force comes in again. Shaving off fear. Not really hitting much, but it's something. Panzer IV taken out. MT got a good shot. Don't underestimate the front of the MJ. It is still a Sherman, so it's pretty well armored frontally. But if it gets penetrated, it does have an issue, but most tanks do. I do think the Soviets are having issues here. The Germans continuously hold the front line at this point, and I don't think that is going to change. Unless the Soviets do something really drastic. It feels like they've been bled kind of dry. I feel the lack of the T-3045s for most Soviet commanders is kind of hurting them sometimes. I honestly still feel the T-3045 should be able to all commanders. Probably except Tank Destroyer, because I guess the H-35, but what am I to say? I just feel like they need something genuine that can fight frontally like this. Of course, that's just my opinion. I'm no expert on balance. Probably talk to the actual developers of the mod about that. I just say my own opinions, as bad as they may be. But the Air Force is coming in again. Oh, those poor Volkswagen, yes, but they're being lucky here. Oh no. Oh yeah, that's only 2 people alive after this final strafe. You should probably get out of that. The Germans just keep slowly advancing now. Soviets gonna be doing much, and one Soviet player is just spamming mortars, which I don't think is gonna help as much as you think. Of course, they might be helping for them, I don't know. But this engine needs repairs. Soviets are not really sure what to do at this point, I reckon. They've been kinda forced into a corner. As the Germans are holding this forest pretty well. So the Red Air Force is just not being enough to support here because of the woods. I'm just gonna fight for this Panzer with this Panzer 4H. Might be in the Panzer 4H's favor. Oh no, never mind. Speak too soon. That MCH really can show its worth. They missed. Oh, there we go. Driver injured. Tiger tank is moving up. Try to use like explosive shots for something. I don't think MCH is going to win. These sandbags are protecting the Panzer IV. They're coming for the lower glaciers, basically. So when the Sherman tries to aim for the lower glaciers, it just hits the sandbags. I believe that lower glaciers is this kind of front lower part here of the tanks. Maybe wrong. It's generally a very vulnerable spot if you can hit it. Of course, this Sherman has a pretty hard to hit one when you look at it. I think the Panzer IVs and the German tanks have a generally look much easier looking one. Yeah, you can kind of see it here. MCH. Oh, MCH got destroyed by the Panzer IV there. Damaging operations going off the Germans, not that they need at this point. I think they got this pretty well held down at this point. You're gonna see an SU-100 coming onto the field. Will that be enough? But the Air Force comes in again. Aiming for this light infantry gun. I think Issue's hitting them in the smoke, but looks like it's working out. And there they go. Honestly, this has been a pretty good match. Another MCH arriving here. Ooh, my son enough to penetrate. We also have a captured AT gun here and a pack. They're misusing whatever tools they can get to help fortify their line.
The enemy is down to 200 points.
And the Panzer IV is slugging it out here. Very risky of it to do. It's holding on though. Focusing its attention. Oh wait, there it goes. One little shell too many. No relax for the northern flank at all. T-54-76 coming out to support as well. This SU-100 needs to be very careful with its movements. It's not an easy vehicle to use. Potent if it can penetrate, but it's very vulnerable. Oh, I'm not sure what they're doing here. Yeah, that's not how you want to use it. It's not. It doesn't have that much armor. It is holding up there, though, somehow. Has to pull back now. Now the Tiger knows it has another prey it can hunt. If the support's going to move alongside it. There's one turning around. Oh, this is not going to be good. Tiger tank just needs to get one shot in. And there it goes. Another kill claimed. Red Air Force fires overhead. But the effort is just not enough. Despite the air superiority of the Soviets today, it's just been not enough to save them. This forest cover has really helped the Germans. Explosive overshot, but hit the bunker anyway. Luftwaffe trying to provide some measure of support. We also have a King Tiger coming up behind us. So it's just running out of time, I think. And equipment. What's with all these mortars?
We have lost one of our armored vehicles.
Yeah, with the King Tiger hitting the field soon, that's gonna be very, very difficult to deal with.
We took it.
I feel this battle is about to reach its end. A good match, though. Look at that. I've been enjoying watching this match. It's good to see good matches like this. Also like it being victory points. It's not going to drag out even longer. It doesn't need to drag out much longer anyway. At this point, the victory is kind of decided.
You are showing weakness. We are down to 75 points.
So trying to dig in again, but it's got to be another raid from the Air Force. Like, hands down to these pilots, they've done a lot of work. Again, it's just not enough. Tiger moving. Here's the King Tiger also arriving out to seal the deal. They're gonna reach for the Soviet base now, they're gonna try and finish it. A big push now. That's a force and infantry coming up behind here. The Tiger tank moving out ahead on its own. I suppose it'll work. There's no real AT with equipment here. Apart from these guards, it didn't get close enough. I don't think he's paying attention. Ooh, this is not good. Oh, he was trying to anti-tank bomb the fragmentation bomb the what's it called? Mthis. Captain Panzerfaust is going to be used. Does penetrate. Does decent amount of damage, but it's not enough. And Air Force flies overhead again. But yeah, this is a German victory for sure. But just as the Panzerfaust gets blown up too. Well, this was quite a match. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all next one, everyone. Bye-bye.